Please video like and subscribe this channel. The summons arrived without warning, a brief, urgent message from the heart of the Telerian Empire. Human, appear before the Queen immediately. Delay is not permitted. I had heard stories of Queen Valyra, tales that made even the most seasoned ambassadors shiver. She was known across multiple galaxies as both brilliant and terrifying. Her fury was legendary, her judgment final. And now, she had summoned me. I approached the throne chamber aboard the gleaming corridors of the Telerian palace, my heart pounding. The walls shimmered with iridescent energy, projecting images of past conquests and interstellar diplomacy, each telling a story of power, ruthlessness, and precision. I was small and fragile by comparison, a human, a newcomer among civilizations that had endured for millennia. Every instinct screamed caution, yet every moment brought me closer to the moment that would determine my fate. The chamber doors, colossal and carved from a single crystal of unknown origin, opened silently as I approached. I stepped into a hall larger than any human palace, the floor a mirror of polished starlight. At the far end, on a throne of levitating energy, sat Queen Valyra herself. Her presence was overwhelming, tall, regal, every movement deliberate. Light bent around her in a halo of psychic energy, and the air itself seemed to hum in response to her aura. "Human," she said, her voice carrying across the hall like a wave of force, "you dare step into my presence. Tell me why you should not regret this choice immediately." Her gaze pierced me, and I felt as though my thoughts were being scanned, my fears laid bare. I swallowed hard. "Your Majesty," I said carefully, "I was summoned. I stand here to answer your questions and obey your will. I do not claim understanding beyond what you see fit to reveal, but I offer honesty." The Queen's violet eyes narrowed, the iridescent glow intensifying. "Honesty," she repeated, a note of incredulity in her tone. "Do you even comprehend the weight of standing before me? My fury has toppled empires, reduced fleets to stardust. And you stand calmly?" "I stand," I replied steadily, "because I have no other choice. Fear may grip me, Majesty, but it does not dictate my actions. I will face whatever is asked of me." For a moment, the chamber was silent, the only sound the soft resonance of her psychic energy rippling through the floor. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. It was low, guttural, almost a growl, shaking the room. "Bold, or foolish? Humans have never impressed me with composure, yet here you are." I felt the tension in the room increase. The courtiers and guards, normally unwavering in their discipline, seemed to lean slightly back, as if sensing the extremity of the Queen's power and the audacity of my presence. Valyra rose from her throne, each movement radiating authority. "You will answer 3 questions," she said. "Fail to satisfy me, and you will know fear as your last lesson." I inclined my head. "I am ready, Majesty." The first question was deceptively simple, yet weighted with centuries of judgment. Why do humans, insignificant as you are in the scale of galactic power, attempt to assert influence where older civilizations have ruled for millennia? I paused only a moment. "Because survival demands it, Majesty. Because humans are curious and resilient. We make mistakes, yes, but we also learn and adapt. Our persistence is our strength." Her expression was unreadable, but the air shifted slightly. Then came the second question. "Do you believe your species is equal to the Telerians in wisdom, strength, or authority?" I met her gaze without flinching. "Not in experience or power, Majesty, but in spirit. Humans endure when others would falter. Humans continue when others surrender. And spirit, I believe, is a force older and more enduring than any empire." Valyra's eyes glimmered faintly. Her third question, however, struck at the heart of my being. "If your survival conflicts with my will, what will you do?" I held my ground. "I will honor your authority, Majesty, But I will act to preserve life where I can, not out of defiance but out of principle. I do not seek to oppose you. I seek to understand and coexist. The Queen's gaze bore into me, her psychic presence probing every fiber of my being. The silence that followed was suffocating. Even the guards seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the inevitable. And then, she spoke. "You are unlike any human I have known," Valera said slowly, her voice carrying a mix of curiosity and begrudging respect. "Few would face me with such composure. Fewer still would answer with honesty and clarity. You interest me." I remained silent, bowing slightly in acknowledgement. My fear had not vanished, but it had been replaced by something else, a sliver of understanding that I had passed some hidden test, that her fury was only part of her nature, a shield as much as a weapon. She approached, the air around her crackling with latent power. "Humans are fragile, yes. But you possess qualities my people have long forgotten, courage tempered with honesty, and the will to endure without yielding to arrogance or fear. These are rare traits." I swallowed hard. "Your Majesty, your words honor me more than I can express." Valera studied me, her expression a mix of amusement and contemplation. Then, unexpectedly, she gestured toward the hall. "Rise, human. You have faced what most species would not dare. You have endured my fury, and you have done so with intelligence, humility, and resilience. You may leave, for now. But understand this, your actions have consequences far beyond this chamber. The galaxy watches, and so do I." As I stepped backward, keeping my eyes on her, I realized that her fury, though legendary, was not mindless. It was a force of discernment, a measure of character, a way to see who could endure and who would crumble. My fear had been justified, but it had also been my ally, sharpening my awareness, focusing my intentions. Outside the chamber, I exhaled deeply. The court resumed its normal hum of activity, though whispers followed me. Some spoke in disbelief that a human could withstand Valera's fury, others speculated on what her words truly meant. I had no answers yet, only the understanding that the encounter had changed me, and perhaps changed the Queen's perception of humanity. Over the following days, messages arrived from distant systems, subtle signals that our species was being watched in a new light. Alliances shifted quietly, respect tempered by cautious curiosity. The Queen's words echoed in my mind, courage tempered with honesty, will tempered with humility. Weeks later, I returned to the chamber not as a summoned subject, but as an invited observer of the galaxy's unfolding balance. Valera regarded me with a calm intensity, no longer fury but acknowledgement. "You have endured. You have spoken truth. Humans are interesting." And in that moment, I understood fully what she had meant. The alien queen's fury had been unmatched, yes, but within it lay discernment, intelligence, and the ability to see value where others might only see weakness. Fear had brought me to her chamber, but respect and understanding would allow humanity to stand in her eyes, not as prey, not as subjects, but as equals in spirit. I left the throne room that day forever changed, not because I had survived her wrath, but because I had learned a truth older than empires. Even in the face of unmatched power, honesty, courage, and integrity could create bridges across species, galaxies, and centuries. The Queen's words had stunned me, but in that astonishment lay the possibility of connection, understanding, and perhaps, a new chapter in interstellar history. End.